Far beyond the quiet countryside, there lived a powerful witch who guarded her enchanted garden with great fury. Villagers whispered her name in fear, believing she could punish anyone who trespassed. Across from her home lived a young couple who longed dearly for a child, waiting with quiet hope each passing day. From their window, the wife often gazed at the witch's garden, glowing softly with fresh lettuce. Day by day, she grew weaker, longing for just a single taste of the magical plant. Desperate to save her, the husband made a quiet promise to bring her whatever her heart desired. Late that night, he climbed the tall stone wall of the witch's garden, careful not to be seen by anyone. He quickly gathered a handful of glowing lettuce, careful not to disturb the garden, and planned to return quietly. The lettuce healed his wife's weakness, but soon she longed for more, her desire quietly growing each day. Suddenly, the witch appeared furious at the theft, her eyes blazing with anger at the intruder. Terrified, the man confessed everything, his voice shaking, hoping the witch might show some mercy. The witch made him a cruel offer, giving his freedom in exchange for his unborn child, leaving him in despair. With a breaking heart, he agreed, swallowing his fear, knowing he had no other choice. Soon, a beautiful baby girl was born, glowing with innocence, filling her parents' hearts with joy. But the witch arrived, claiming the child as promised, her eyes filled with fury and determination. She named the girl Rapunzel and hid her deep within a forest tower, safe from anyone who might find her. The tower had no door or stairs, just a single window high above, keeping it unreachable to anyone. Rapunzel's golden hair grew long, shining bright and full of magic, flowing like sunlight through the tower. The witch climbed the tower using Rapunzel's hair each time she came without anyone noticing. Rapunzel's voice filled the forest with gentle songs, soft as sunlight, floating through the trees with magic. One day, a wandering prince heard her voice and paused in awe, captivated by the beauty of her song. He searched for the singer, but found no way inside the tower, wondering how her voice reached so far. Yet, he returned every day just to hear her gentle melodies, letting the music fill his heart. One afternoon, he saw the witch call for Rapunzel to lower her hair, and he watched in quiet awe.
Rapunzel! Rapunzel! Let down your hair!
He finally understood the secret and formed a daring plan, determined to rescue Rapunzel. The next day, with the witch gone, he approached the tower with courage, ready to carry out his daring plan. He called upward, using the same words he heard the witch say, hoping Rapunzel would hear him. Rapunzel lowered her shimmering hair, expecting the witch, but met a stranger at the tower. Curiosity replaced fear as the two cautiously saw each other, meeting for the very first time in awe.
Don't worry, Rapunzel. I assure you, I mean no harm.
The prince spoke gently, assuring her he meant no harm, speaking with calm and kindness. Rapunzel, lonely her whole life, felt hope rising within her heart as light brightened her soul. The two spoke for hours, sharing stories and laughter, their hearts growing closer with each word. For the first time, Rapunzel felt the world beyond the tower calling, inviting her to step in. Rapunzel's heart fluttered with a joy she had never known, filling her entire being with wonder. Day after day, The prince returned, and their bond grew deeper, filling their hearts with joy. Rapunzel began dreaming of a life where she was free, imagining the world beyond her tower. One morning, she finally gathered the courage to speak her wish aloud, hoping her voice would be heard. Together, she and the prince made a plan to escape the tower forever, ready to begin their new life. But danger lurked closer than they knew, threatening their plan before it could begin. The witch arrived unexpectedly, calling for Rapunzel with her usual command, her voice sharp and demanding. Rapunzel hurried to pull up her hair, hiding signs of the prince's visit, careful not to alert the witch. But the witch sensed that something had changed, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. She confronted Rapunzel, demanding the truth, her voice sharp and commanding. Terrified but brave, Rapunzel admitted she had met someone kind, her voice trembling yet honest. Enraged, the witch vowed to end their bond forever, her fury burning with every word. With a single cruel strike, she cut Rapunzel's magical hair, leaving her powerless and stunned. Rapunzel's glow faded as her hair lost its magic, leaving her feeling weak and sorrowful. The witch locked Rapunzel away in a distant barren land, leaving her all alone and trapped. Then she returned to the tower, waiting for the prince's next visit, her eyes filled with cunning and intent.
Rapunzel, let down your hair. I have come for you.
The witch lowered Rapunzel's cut hair, tricking him into climbing, unaware of the danger that awaited. As he reached the window, the witch revealed her cruel trap, leaving him shocked and unprepared. In terror, he lost his grip and fell into the thorny bushes below, hurt and desperate to survive. The thorns spared his life but stole his sight, leaving him blind and in despair. Blind and heartbroken, he wandered searching for Rapunzel, guided only by hope. Years passed as he followed the memory of her voice, never giving up hope of finding her. One quiet morning, he heard a familiar, gentle song in the breeze, filling him with hope and longing. Tears filled his eyes as he followed the voice that had once saved his heart.
Rapunzel, living in the barren land, sang softly every morning. Her voice carried through the wind, reaching farther than...
The prince followed the song, each note guiding him closer to the one he loved. At last, he stepped into the desolate land where Rapunzel had been banished, his heart full of hope and fear. Rapunzel gasped as she recognized the sound of his footsteps, her heart leaping with hope. She ran toward him, her heart bursting with hope and disbelief, longing to be reunited at last. The prince heard her voice growing closer and reached out instinctively, guided by love and hope. In the next moment, Rapunzel fell into his arms, her tears mixing with joy. As they embraced at last, her tears fell onto his eyes, glowing with the last spark of her lost magic, restoring his sight and hope. In a burst of light, his sight returned, and he beheld Rapunzel once more. Rapunzel rushed toward the prince, her tears falling onto his face, as they embraced in relief and joy. As her tears touched his eyes, the prince gasped. He could see again, overwhelmed with wonder and joy. Overjoyed, they embraced their hearts, finally reunited, basking in love. Hand in hand, they traveled to Rapunzel's parents, who had waited anxiously all these years.